if you didn't know, I am now hated on Twitter. I don't know if this is actually going to make it onto YouTube. Probably not, but it will be on the VOD anyway. This will be at least on the VOD. A lot of you guys have talked about Leaflet before. I don't actually know her. She just recently started popping up for me on YouTube recommendations. And I think you guys said that's because she recently started to reacting to Shion Head. So that might be the correlation. So yeah, this is actually the first time I am looking at Leaflet.
So there's like this,
what we should do is actually, move her here. Move chat over here. And move me on the left. Here we go. The almighty rectangle of YouTube TOS. Is that her chat?
There's this VTuber situation right now. Put on some music. There's a little VTuber situation right now with who is a VTuber. True. So true.
Oh, my pinned. Nice. Oh, my pin. No, Kitsu, move to the left. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a leftist now. I'm like look at me. I'm extreme left now. Ugh. I can't believe I'm such a leftist.
Who is a VTuber? True. So true. Apparently, they made a post here that says that men deserve to be loved and treated right. Which is, you know, it's a very typical VTuber post. Well, not this specifically, but the style of the post is very typical VTuber. It's just the topic isn't typical. Usually the topic is like some other thing, like about some other social justice sort of a thing. But Kitsu just, you know, making this statement here. And it blew up. Of course it did, right? So you have a ton of people that got really upset. And if we look into their X, you can see a bunch
German
of the posts.
Fox lady did nothing wrong.
Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, here. All of the posts.
Can I see who did that? Jay's Day Off. I don't know that person, but thank you.
Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, here.
It's got confused.
All of the posts that came out after it. I mean, over here we've got you know, a lovely person with a DM here. You know, isekai yourself.
You guys want to see that? You guys want to actually see that one? I can pull it up. Here. There it is. That's the one. That's the one.
Pick me. But here you have this, like, you know, I hope you get raped by men since you like them so much. You know, go buy a gun and isekai yourself. Ugly pick me. Like, just wild shit. I wonder,
wild.
Like, man, what gets people to say this kind? Like, what makes people like this? Do a lot of people need to take their meds? I mean, this is like I'm gonna be real with you guys. This is just X in a nutshell. I'm not really surprised. Of course, that person has that banner. Then we have this post here by a person, you know, whatever. I'm not it. You deserve to get unfollowed and more. You pick me, scum of the earth. And then she replies with, "I hope you find love in your life." That's a really good like counter to that.
Remember,
funny thing is,
these are the people who call everyone else
yeah,
Nazis.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, I have, like, this person literally did call me a Nazi afterwards. But a sensible and stable person right there, yeah. Yep.
Thank you for the bits, Of course, they call everyone Nazis. But you have here, just the, like, absolutely, like, legendary reply. "I hope you find love in your life because nothing pisses them off more than this." Like, than just, like, kindness sets them...
That's exactly why I did it. This is exactly why I did it. I was... full on, I wasn't being sweet. I wanted to piss them off. Like, hands down, I didn't want to be nice there.
Off. I hope and then they reply with, "I hope that the 2 seconds of love from right-wing Nazi scum," yeah, Nazis, it's always Nazis, "is the only attention you'll ever get. Those same men you are seeking validation from wouldn't hesitate to spike your drink, grape you while you scream for mommy." Like,
I said this yesterday, but Chad, would you really do this? Are all the 330 people in here, would you be really doing this? Is that what you would be doing to me? Of course not. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, it's so insane. Like, I know, of course not. Like, I know. It's fucking ridiculous to even think that. Probably not! I'm too lazy? Only to Hexagon? Oh, I also would never do that to Hexagon. Okay, I just read only to Hexagon there for a second. Oh my god. Yes, no!
I was about to say something. Like, I was about to say, like, what about one day when you have a son? Like, do you think your son deserves to be seen and treated this way?
I talked about this yesterday too. But these people would unironically indoctrinate their son. These people unironically would indoctrinate their son. Case study, the woman that did literally say that on stream.
But then I realized they probably won't have kids. I guess that doesn't work. I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, like, how do you feel about, like, all of the men in your life, like your family members and stuff? It's like, how do you get to a position where you just literally hate men like this? It's deranged. It actually started with this post here. So we've got this one right here. I legitimately had people unfollow me over this. I believe it, honestly.
Good riddance.
I've had the same thing happen to me over similar issues. So 100% can see that being the case.
There were people that said that didn't happen. I again don't know if I'm allowed to show Twitter analytics, but we had like 600 or so people, maybe more at this point, unfollow me at this point.
It's just retards, true. Bro, why are men not allowed love or respect? I don't get it. It's so weird because
what's really fuck up is that some of these people have sons.
Yeah, I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about this is that the people that always do this, and like this happens all the time, the people who rage out over this kind of thing are always the people that try to push the narrative that they're the truly kind and caring people. Like, oh, I care so much about LGBT issues, trans issues, Palestine, Ukraine, etc. They'll put all the flags in there.
As we saw Becky, like a Palestinian trans the flag.
And yet they're almost always the most hateful people. And it's wild. It's like, I don't know if it's projection or if it's just something wrong with their brain, but they end up being the most vile hate, like people that are harboring like intense levels of hatred almost every time. Yeah, the compassion and empathy crowd. Yeah, exactly. They never have any idea what they're talking about either. You think it's a mental health issue? I think in some cases it can be a mental health issue, but I think the issue is more societal. I really think Neko Hella there says it's a social plague. I think I agree with that. I kind of do see it more as a social plague. And again, like I talked about this before.
Human brains release bonding and reward chemicals when grouping together for witch hunts. Which makes sense cause the ones that didn't have that trait wouldn't have been in the group and eventually would have become targets. So these people are addicts getting a rush from being hateful.
Yeah, I can
see that. Yeah, holy shit.
I can 100% see that. And again, I've seen this before, like I said, like
Isn't it about time
on Tumblr.
to make asylums great again?
I don't know necessarily all.
Yes! Yes! I need to show you guys one picture for that one. That one. Oh, I love this image.
All of the people are actually traditionally crazy. Like in like a medical sense. You know, everyone should read classic feminist books to understand why hate men is a real goal. Again, like I saw a lot of this like 10 years ago, like even longer than that, like coming out of places like Tumblr. But Fishy says, does this mean a society telling me I am disposable and to be used and thrown away is wrong? I think it's wrong to tell anybody that, really. Like there's a lot going on here, right? It's like a lot of these people, they only really care. They only show that they care about people only when they're useful to them. And again, like the best example I have of this is during the election. Latinos mattered like a lot. And then the instant they all voted for Trump, it was like, yeah, go get deported, don't care. It's wild. Like, it's crazy. Gex says, as a Latino, it's
like picture book virtue signal. Like, there it is. Like, it's pushing their own agenda on virtue signaling. Like, this is like literally textbook. Not picture book, textbook. Sorry, textbook virtue signal.
Eye-opening to me, yeah. Angry and screeching ones, they don't spend time with their families. They spend their time terminally online, the social media, looking at. I wonder if this really is just like kind of a social psychohazard. Basically, people who all hate their families, they congregate online, they make a group to bitch about it. And then in order to so you join this group And then they start to tell you the little things that your family does, and they start to chip away at your armor and make you hate your own family too. Because I'm experiencing like sort of the same thing in my family, actually.
To think all of this would have been contained if Tumblr never banned the
not
R18
for me,
stuff.
Not with me specifically, but like...
I don't agree. They would have come to Twitter anyway. They would have come to Twitter anyway. I don't agree with this one.
And I wonder how much of... I might be going a little crazy here, guys. Like, how much of this is related to like the institutions of mental health that we have, like therapists and stuff. And I'm not saying that it's always bad. Obviously, there are cases where people do need help. I'm trying to think of it in terms of like what I understand because of like my own experiences. You have a problem. Okay. You have a problem. You hate yourself. You hate your life. You go to a therapist and maybe you find something from talking to a therapist that makes it not you. Is that what's... Because the truth is like, even with families that are healthy, families that love each other, even in those cases, you're going to have disagreements with people in your family, right?
Of course.
You're always going to have... It's
like, legitimately, if everyone just shared the 100% the same opinion, the world would be so boring. Like, it'd be so incredibly boring. They are not racist until you disagree with them. That is true. That is true. That is true. Also, sorry, we have TTS muted during reacts. Because some people did abuse it a bit in the past. We might turn it on in the future again for like a higher price though.
It's never going to be 100% perfect harmony. Relationships with people is always like a give and take, and there's always points of pressure that occur between people. But if you can get underneath one of those points of pressure and then make that the reason why your life is a mess, then you give a convenient thing to blame. And guys, I'm not a psychologist, okay? I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm thinking about a lot of the experiences I've had in my life with people that have had therapy. And it might be a certain like new wave kind of therapist that's doing this. The Iron Tiger says, in all honesty, I went to a therapist and their advice was that the problems were the world, not me. I called them a quack and enrolled in martial arts, and that decision changed your life for the better. Yeah, because martial arts teaches you discipline. Martial arts is a lot better than just learning how to protect yourself in like kung fu. And you know, martial arts teaches you a lot of discipline, I think, which is really important. Your therapist told you to get a divorce? Yeah.
Paladin Josh.
Jesus. Instead of just like, okay, depends on, right? Like maybe it was like justified saying that because maybe the person was mentally abusive, right? Or like physically abusive even. But like as a blanket statement, that sounds a little bit extreme. Like Jesus.
$13.37.
Yo, Josh, thank you so much.
It's this weird cycle. People who are the biggest advocates for therapy have been in it forever and never get better and just become walking advertisements and repeat all these same buzzwords.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the tip. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Josh. And I mean, again, I'm not saying that like there's definitely cases in which it can help. Man, actually, it just seems like such a fucking landmine to me. You could get a therapist that just fucks you up even more. You know what I mean? I've recently looked into intensive therapy. In Canada, I'm unable to find a therapist that doesn't have the mind virus in almost every line of their profile. Well, the thing is too is, man, I'm going like kind of deep into this, but the other thing too is when therapists they have you at your most vulnerable, right? Because you're sharing shit with them that like absolutely makes you feel like trash. It's like this, it kind of breaks down like...
Looks at BetterHelp. Yeah, BetterHelp was so fucking disgusting, man. People... like legitimately just taking advantage of people who were already at their lowest. Fucking disgusting shit.
All of your, you know, normally like when you go out in public or, you know, you're with your friends, you have some level of like armor, right? You don't tell everyone everything.
Yeah.
You again, you keep things to yourself and you have a certain level of like protecting like what actually bothers you. But you don't do that to a therapist. So it's like if there was a therapist that actually did have bad intentions, like, or let's even take away the intentions part. Like, let's say they actually think it's the right thing, that they were trained and that was the right thing. But all it does is fuck you up more, right? Shaima says, I think the reason this has grown to such prevalence is not because there's a sudden surge of increasingly crazy people, but as a kind of overreactive social immune response. People start behaving to avoid being targeted and yelled at by really crazy people. Do that long enough, more more people start to join the immune response, normalizing and turning those people into attackers too. And yeah, the thing is too, with like the rise of social media, it's a lot easier to see. It's a lot easier to see, and it's a lot easier to find people that you agree with. If you don't expose yourself to people that you disagree with, then all you're gonna do is find a bunch of people that are just yes men, right? It's all like a big hug box, a big
echo chamber. It's like an echo chamber, yeah. As someone with degree in psychology, most psychologists are trash. That feels bad, man. Like, I haven't experienced so many therapists yet, but more psychiatrists. And psychiatrists are like more on like the doctor medicine side of the spectrum, right? But so far, I only had shitty psychiatrists. Like, one of my psychiatrists, on every visit, she made me fucking cry. Like, by like being a fucking dumb bitch. She, like, was so... I don't even know how to say this. I've talked about this before. But this woman, literally, I told her, I have anxiety, like, to call. I can't pick up the phone to call and make, like, doctor's appointment. And so I have struggled finding a therapist to begin with. So I need help. Please help me. I don't know how to find a therapist. And what she said, you gotta jump over your own shadow. And just call. Psychiatrist, I don't know, man. Like, yeah. Yeah, so great! Yay! Thanks! Just do it, lol. Oh my god, so I found a new one. And that guy was okay. Like, that psychiatrist was okay. Up until... I asked about the, like, dosage of my, like, medication. Like, either of increasing it or lowering it, because it doesn't seem to be doing much for me anymore. And he, unironically, legitimately, looked me in the eyes and said, "You're still depressed? What? Bitch, what do you think I'm coming to your office? What do you think you're still prescribing me antidepressants? What do you mean I'm still what? And wait, it gets better. It gets better. It gets better, chat. He said, right? He said, "Oh, I can't help you then. This is the best antidepressants medication there is. I can't higher the dosage," which was a lie. Hexagon was taking a higher dosage, and the little prescription paper, like the paper thing you get in the medication box, right? It literally said you could take more. But he said, "Oh, you're on the maximum, and if this doesn't help, you need to be enrolled in a hospital." Bitch, you what? Bitch, you what? What do you mean this is the best medication? Like, what do you fucking mean this is the best antidepressant? What do you mean? Every human reacts to antidepressants differently. Is this a German issue? I don't know. It's the only two psychiatrists, unfortunately, I've been able to, like, get an appointment with. I'm trying to find a new one. I have not been lucky enough to get a new one yet. They're so booked out. They're so freaking booked out. Yeah, that's what my psychiatrist said for some reason, so that's lovely. Yeah, enjoyed that a lot. Totally didn't make me feel like he's a dumbass. Put her in a jacket, legit though. Legit though. That's what he said. He said I need to go into the asylum. So, yeah, if your psychiatrist or your therapist doesn't seem right, seems like an idiot, keep looking for one. Keep looking for one. What if he's right? I mean, I am a VTuber, to be fair. So he might be right. Just to be fair. He might actually have a point, now that I think about it. I am a VTuber.
A big echo chamber where everyone's telling you it's not your fault. And you see this with like many things. I mean, let's just use like let's use health and weight for an example, where you'll have a bunch of people who are like super fat and unhealthy, and everyone's saying like, "Oh no, you're
Sorry, I've talked about this. You guys know this is a topic I hate. No, sorry, this is one of my favorite topics. It's a topic I love so much. I love to hate it. You thought antidepressants solve depression? Yeah, apparently.
Fine, you're just beautiful just the way you are. And then you start to normalize it, and then nobody wants to fix it because they don't have to. It's not their fault, it's society's fault. And that's not to say that you should be mean to people who are like that, but I mean, encouraging it is a completely different thing. It's kind of like what I said with things like porn, for instance. Porn and degeneracy. Am I gonna go out and like get in people's faces for like liking hentai? I'm not, but like, am I gonna also pretend it's the best thing for everybody? No, of course not.
No.
It's obviously not good for people. In the same way that like eating too much is not good for people. In the same way doing nothing with your life and playing games all day isn't good for people. It's not something you should encourage. Sorry, I kind of went on a fat tangent there. I think someone asked.
That's just how it is as a streamer and a VTuber, bro. That's just how it is. We go on giant tangents all the time.
Why do I think this is happening? And it just turned into that long ass tangent. Anyway, we can keep looking at some more of these actually, and it just looks like they have a bunch of posts kind of along these lines. I had people say things like, "You must have had a great father." And I grew up with a physically and mentally abusive stepfather. I did not have my fair share. This is the crazy thing too, is some people are kind of unable to separate this out, right? It's kind of hard to do, to be honest. Like, I am a little bit sympathetic to people that have had that kind of case, and then you kind of see a pattern, and then it makes you distrustful of people.
Absolutely. Like, it's fair to be distrustful of people, like, after you have had those experiences. It is fair to be distrustful. It is not fair to generalize that, though. It is not fair to generalize. It is fair to distrust people, but it's not fair to demonize. He's the best psychiatrist and therapist. Jesus, man, no.
And everyone's like this, right? It's the same. Ironically, it's kind of the same thing as like things like racism, which these people obviously would fight against, right? But it's kind of the same thing. One of our superpowers as humans is pattern recognition. We're really good at that. So when you see a bunch of patterns, like you see a bunch of people fit like a certain pattern of like somebody who has like,
I wouldn't like, it's a superpower and a curse. I would say it's like a blessing and a curse. It's both, because we do see patterns where there are none as well, where it's a complete coincidence.
Victimize you before, it makes you weary of everyone else that fits that same mold. And it's like basically like they're saying that like you must have had a great father, so they're like, I guess people saying that like they're like that because they have a bad father, but then you're lumping all men in with that, right? What's the difference between like you have, you know, your father who is a man who was abusive to you, and now you think all men are evil? What's the difference between that and you got mugged by like, I don't know, an Asian person or a black person or a Mexican person, and then you thinking that like, all black people are like that, all Mexican people are like that, all Asians are like that? It's literally the same thing. And those are the people that like yell about that stuff the most. Yep, and here it is. Says, I grew up with a physically and mentally abusive stepfather, and I did have my share of sexism, as well as, I'm not gonna lie, every time I see this, I think something awful, but I know what it is. But yet I do not generalize men.
I want to clarify, I was not raped. I didn't get raped. I do want to clarify that, but there was assault. Like, no one did try to grape me either. So it's like not on the extreme end, but I did have sexual assault.
I have some nasty comments over the past 24 hours, but I got about 100 times more positive DMs. Saying all men do this is sexist, misandrous, and just a straight up lie. God, great people. Oh, this is nice. Saw your comment on stuff with men helped me feel positive myself today, so thank you. Sorry you had to also deal with negative comments as well. I wish you every great day and take care. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good people in this world. But again, like, as humans, we focus on what's negative. That's just kind of psychology, right? There could be like, and this happens with everyone, including myself. I can get like 40...
Yeah. It's true. I'm just glad that right now I had so many positives. Like, so many positive DMs. Like, I've gotten some nasty DMs, man. I've shared some of them. I'm still getting nasty DMs, but for every nasty DM, there's 30 more positive ones. It's genuinely so beautiful. Some people just say, Like, some people are just like short and say thank you. Some people just send a cat picture or a dog picture or a funny meme. It's genuinely so... It's beautiful that there's so many people just sending love as well. Like, and now I'm just shortly being driven to tears. Not because of all the hate I'm receiving, but because of all the positivity. That's insane. Like, I haven't cried about this once so far. And I'm a crybaby. I am a motherfucking crybaby, man. I cry about anything. I cry when I get angry. I cry when I'm sad. I cry all the fucking time. I don't cry a lot of stream, but I cry lots of times. But goddamn, like, now I'm slowly getting moved to tears just thinking about how many positive reactions there are. Oh my god, freaking gamer subs purchase. Thank you. Yeah, like, now I'm slowly starting to get driven to tears, like, thinking about how much positivity there still is, man.
9 good comments of like, wow, like, I really like this, like, great job. And have one guy that's like, you're the fucking worst. Like, you're the worst, fucking pick me, piece of shit, like...
Oh my god, man. Oh yeah, that was from yesterday, so, or the day before yesterday. Holy Cobra, thank you so much for the tier 1. Let me rewind real quick.
Myself, I can get like 49 good comments of like, wow, like, I really like this, like, great job. And have one guy that's like, you're the fucking worst. Like, you're the worst, fucking pick me, piece of shit. Like, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. You're fucking racist. I'll get like one comment like that, and that's like the one that I read, and that's the one that sticks with me. You know, like, I think it's just human nature, you know? It's just human nature to focus on the negative, yeah. Ninja Tanuki says, focusing on the negative is a survival instinct, yeah. Another one here.
That is true. That is actually true, though. Like, because it makes us able to, like, avoid it, right? And then as a reaction, how you deal with it, that's not instinct afterwards. That's your choice.
Apparently someone got like an own on them saying that I hate feminism, by the way. Girl, you need to shut the fuck up, says this. Wow, they have the same name. Kitsu says,
yeah,
I hate feminism, funny. To be honest. Based. I've already stated this, but this is what I mean. Modern feminism. Obviously, This is what we're talking.
Obviously. I hate that I need to clarify it. I believe in equal rights. I believe that women should be able to vote. I believe that women should have equal opportunities as men. Wow, insanity. I can't believe I need to clarify this, man. Like, people legitimately said that's not what I meant. And then, of course, there was the entire accidental dog whistling one, to which I then realized I did need to freaking clarify because people did take my shit out of context. Again, I'll say it again. If you're an incel, if you actually do hate women, please leave. I do not actually hate women. Damn it. I know, I joke about it because there's a lot of dumb women out there. But there's equally dumb men out there too. It's just funnier, me as a woman hating on women because, wow, funny joke, woo, wow. Jesus Christ, man. Like, oh my god. If you're an incel and think women deserve to be hated, fucking leave. If me and my mods catch anyone in our community using my name to attack and harass other people for whatever the fuck they believe in, we're gonna get you out of our community.
We're not talking about like women should have the same rights as men. Like, obviously that's already been done. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like new feminism, right? Like,
yes.
Wage gap sort of stuff. Wage gap, abortion, all of these other things that, yes, I don't like any of those either. Like super sexual promiscuity, like all sorts of those things. I've already stated this, but modern feminism is toxic and not needed anymore in the West. I agree. The first wave of feminism was amazing, and if you can't realize that modern feminism is toxic, then you're part of the problem. Yeah, I agree with this pretty much. Yeah, it's good of her to explain herself there. A lot of modern feminism is just man-hating. The funny thing is like the old school feminists are actually old school feminists that are like kind of follow more of the equality between men and women. A lot of them have shifted over towards men's rights actually, which is pretty funny because they're the ones that are noting that like a lot of men are being left behind in society and not cared about, which is true. Call me a pick me if you want, but I have friends that are men. I have family members.
Same, like legit. What's even the point in calling people like me and Leaflit a pick me when we are just speaking out for, in the end, we are the ones that are speaking out for equal rights. We are actually the ones that are following the actual meaning of feminism, the actual original message of it. But call us a pick me for it. Go on, be dumb. We're gonna point and laugh.
Members that are men. My dad is a man. I care about them, and I don't want them to be treated unfairly.
We are not equal, our brains are not wired the same, women did not evolve to handle leadership roles. Obviously, biologically, mentally, physically, we are not the same. Obviously not. That's not the point we're making. The point is to believe in equal rights, in equal opportunities. It doesn't matter if we are not equal. It doesn't matter that we're not the same genetically. We believe in an equal opportunity. This isn't about being equally the same. Like equally biologically being the same. We're talking in equal values, equal respect. Again, equal opportunities. Of course we're not the same. No, of course we're not the same. No one's denying that. That doesn't mean that one person should be valued more than the other person. That doesn't mean someone deserves to be paid more than another person. Bible... Okay, you know what? Get banned. I'm not gonna... No. Fuck out of here.
I don't see what's so crazy about that. It's so obvious to me. Like, do you want a random person going up to your little cousin who's like 10 years old? That's a little boy, and saying like, you're gonna be fucking toxic when you grow up. You're gonna be the worst piece of shit. And you're gonna go out there and you're gonna rape a bunch of women. Who wants?
Sorry, I wasn't able to focus on the past 10 seconds. Thank you so much for the hype train. Thank you for the cheers. Thank you for being nice. Thank you for being nice.
See what's so crazy about that. It's so obvious to me. Like, do you want a random person going up to your little cousin who's like 10 years old? That's a little boy, and saying like, you're gonna be fucking toxic when you grow up. You're gonna be the worst piece of shit. And you're gonna go out there and you're gonna rape a bunch of women. Who wants that? You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
No one wants that. Thank you so much, Max, for the 5 gifted. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. Chat, you don't need to like gift me any subs. You don't need to give me any bits just because you think I'm right. I do very much appreciate it, but just you being here is enough.
One thing I will say though, one aspect, and this also applies to women on like a different level. I'm not going to talk about the woman version of this for now. I'm going to specifically talk about men. Men, natural inclinations, obviously, as human beings, those inclinations, like masculinity, right? You know how you've heard of toxic masculinity and like how there's a lot of negative traits associated with men. The problem is a lot of those aspects, the specific aspects that you see, like, you know, the negative aspects, the drive in that direction is natural. And men have to be channeled, whether that's through having a good mentor that teaches you how to be a good man, or a good father, you know, or a good brother, or whatever that is. Those inclinations have to be channeled towards good, otherwise they shift towards evil. And the same thing occurs with women. So again, I'm not making like, this isn't a specifically man thing. Women have their own version of this. You know, you've heard toxic femininity.
Yep. Fully agreed, man. Oh my god, guys. Chill. Really chill with the gifted. Jesus. Thank you. Men get essayed by women too? They do. Yes, that is true. Mods, by the way, if you see people like shifting towards the extremist side of people, warn them first, and then if they continue talking about it, ban it. Just like straight up. If I don't catch it and like call it out personally, like immediately, just warn. If they continue, ban.
right? It's the same thing. It has to be channeled, like the nurturing aspect of women has to be channeled into into something. Otherwise it becomes, it corrupts itself, right? And it's the same thing with men. Again, like the nature of like the aggression, the trying to take care of things, all of that has to be channeled towards good. Otherwise it shifts towards evil. And again, that's just the natural inclination of things, right? Bad masculinity simply isn't toxic, it's destructive. The use of the word alone implies it's a concept born of the feminine framework. No way you have a traditional Christian family. I wouldn't say that. I mean, we love each other, even if we have differences. And I think that's kind of part of being a family, is like having...
That should be part of being a human, to be able to understand each other and to be able to agree to disagree.
Differences and being able to reconcile them. It's not always perfect, you know, and people are not always perfect, and it's learning that not everyone is perfect and accepting that about people is kind of how you grow in your relationships with people. That's why you need positive role models that are the same gender as you. Yes. And that's why you have like a lot of problems with young men that don't have a father in the home, right? Anyway, going more into this. Yeah, I agree with this. Actually, I actually like unironically agree with this. I don't like modern feminism. It's terrible. It teaches both women and men to not be responsible for themselves. Society in general actually teaches you this, to not be responsible for yourself. You're not responsible for any of the problems that you have in your life, and like, you know, fuck it, the government will take care of you. It's so many, it's just a lack of personal like responsibility.
Equality, sadly, is far from obtainable in this day of age, with how social media, toxicity on both ends, and many other factors continually keep things ripped apart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is true. It is hard. That's why we need people to speak up against it, like me. Like, unironically, like me. Like, saying that men also deserve, like, love and respect and to be treated right. Like, we need, like, unironically, we need more people that, like, call this bullshit out from the other people. And I think slowly but surely, we are shifting back to that. Because I think enough people have had enough. Obviously, there's like still, like, there's so much negativity and so much hate towards both genders. Obviously. But slowly but surely, people are realizing that there's just so much hate of that, and slowly but surely, people like me, people like Leaflet, people like Seanhead are starting to call it out. Okay, I get the message, but do you know how funny it sounds when you say we need more people like me? So seriously, I'm sorry, I know how it sounds. I know how it sounds, and I feel so far up my ass right now. I do feel so far up my ass right now, I'm not going to lie. I do feel far up my ass right now. But we do need more people that speak out against it. Like, obviously, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. But we need more people that do talk out against it and that do swing back the pendulum. Yeah.
The problem, guys, is every time I talk about this shit, I get like slightly emotional. It's a woman thing. I get slightly emotional, and it's like I start to like almost cry, and I have to like hold it back, and it makes it really uncomfortable for me to talk. I start to like kind of drone on because like I'm right on the edge of that, you know. Anyway, because it gets me kind of emotional to think about the whole thing, because it's fucked up. It's really fucked up, you know. Okay, yeah, just more like it's pathetic. You're desperate, so sad, man. Dude, she got a lot of these. You're dumb as fuck and wouldn't be allowed to be a VTuber or have any of the BS you do without feminism. By the way, well, here's the thing. You're conflating. I mean, this is true. You wouldn't be allowed to be a VTuber or be any of the BS that you have without.
But that's not what I'm talking
feminism.
about.
I mean, it's true, but they're conflating like the equality part of like traditional feminism with like the kind of neo-feminism, right? And they're using that as a shield. Oh, you don't. It's like, oh, you don't agree with the wage gap? Well, you must be against women voting then. You must be against women's equality because you don't think that, even though it's not even related. Isn't it weird how society wants women to take traditionally masculine roles and wants men to take traditionally feminine roles? What if part of the mental health crisis stems from the confusion of what it means to be a man or be a woman? It's possible because men have interests and are inclined towards certain jobs, and women are the same.
Yeah. I want to say something, and this is like a literally unpopular opinion, and this opinion is gonna get me hate, but I think not all of them, right? Not all of them, and it might not even be the majority. This is in regards of trans people, right? And in regards of like gender identity. Like, and I'm not saying it's all trans people, I'm not saying it's all like people with gender identity, but I think what this originally stems from, because a lot of people say it's a society that's wrong and shit with that. Let me just like think how to properly phrase this to like not confuse things. I suck at English. Don't try to clip me out of context. I think the issue is that people say things like dolls, for example, like the color pink, are standard feminist. Or not feminist, are standard feminine. And then if a guy likes that, if a guy likes pink or playing with dolls or like wearing skirts, that makes him a woman. That makes him too feminine. And I think there was so much push for that in that direction that a lot of people that do suffer from gender dysmorphia and from body dysmorphia did get unironically groomed into thinking that just because they do tend to like more feminine stuff, that they would be the opposite gender. I mean, let's look at it in the other way. Like let's look at that into the other direction, right? Women who like more manly stuff are labeled as tomboys. And it's completely societal acceptable for them to be tomboys and not to be a trans man. Why is that? That's like one thing of this thing. I'm not saying that all trans people are this way. Hell no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that's the main issue either. But I'm saying that there definitely is that exists as an underlying issue for it too. It is one part of it. There's more nuance to it, obviously. There's way more shit to it, obviously. But this is one part of the issue. That's my opinion on this, in this regards. Femboy? Hi Kitsu, so here in Sweden we have an institution dedicated for equality, but the people there are mostly women. And one time they claimed that men made much more. Kitsu, it's been a while seeing you become the internet's new supervillain because you said the most obviously true stuff ever. Stay strong, Pink Foxu, thank you. It is obnoxious, yeah. Streams for 20 years, I'm learning new streamer stuff, guys. Bro, I'm not perfect, I'm still learning. Let's move on.
Women like certain, like in general, and again, this isn't every woman, there's always gonna be like outliers. There's always gonna be fucking weirdos like me. I like D&D and war games and guns, but that's not the norm. And like, can we accept that it's not the norm? And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not inherently a good thing, and it's not inherently a bad thing, it's just weird. Is your tiny mind even familiar with what's happening to female people in Afghanistan, Korea, any nation under Islamic regime, grooming gangs in the UK? You're despicable and you speak from a position riddled with privilege. Just because you have it good doesn't mean others do. Wait, what are they talking about? So
legit!
Bad culture in these places?
Like, legit, what are they talking about?
Is that what they're saying? There's bad culture in these places, but then that's a man problem? That's fucking weird. You guys want to know the funny thing? Let's say that they're right. Let's say that there are men that are doing these things, which there are. Who's gonna do something about it? Who is it, guys? Who's gonna do something about it? If there was literally like women being fucking graped in the streets and killed in
I like how she always puts like a grape image on the image when she says graped. YOLO, thank you so much for the tier 1.
The streets and taken into grooming gangs by men in another country, who's gonna stop them? Exactly. It's gonna be other men with guns. It's gonna be good men that are gonna handle it. It's always been like that for like all of history. Yeah. And until we have, and you know, I actually don't even know if this would solve the problem, but I was gonna say until we have Gundams, it's gonna be fucking like that. And I think even with Gundams, there probably still would be a difference. I think men would still be better at piloting Gundams, probably, just based on some kind of I don't know, some aggression levels, or some kind of just being better at mentally prepared for combat or something. I don't know. And again, that's not to say that like women suck. I'm not saying that. Women have other skills that men aren't as good as. Good.
Yeah, for example, like ancient Ooga Booga days, in our Unga Boonga days, where we were literal cavemen. Men were better at hunting, while women were better at gathering stuff. Whoa, wow, what? No, really? Like, Jesus Christ. I said this before, I say it again. Men and women need each other because we make up for each other's flaws because we complement each other. It's literally yin and yang. With how fucking cliche it is. It literally is yin and yang.
Good at. Or are you just engagement farming, hoping more men send you money and thirst over your... Yeah, I mean, this is just... Yeah, I mean, if you don't believe... If you're not a raging feminist that hates men, then obviously you're just grifting. You're just saying nice things about men, not because you actually care about men in your life, but because you want money. Yeah, obviously. Thanks for the follow. Jesus, thank you. The what? Talking about losing followers when these 2 tweets were probably your best performing tweets. Yeah, they probably did gain more followers from this than long.
I did. Yes, I did get so many followers from it. I did. 4 times, right? I think so. I think I quadrupled my follower size. And I lost like 600, 700 followers. But back from the ads, let's go.
Lost, I'm guessing. But you still lose people, right?
Sorry, let's actually rewind 10 seconds.
Losing followers when these 2 tweets were probably your best performing tweets. They probably did gain more followers from this than lost, I'm guessing. But you still lose people, right? It's the same thing with like when I do a video about Ukraine and I give like my actual take on it. Like there's gonna be people that leave because they don't agree with it. But
yeah, also my point of pointing out that I was losing followers was not because, oh, I'm so sad I'm losing followers. How could you leave me? No, poor woman, me. Oh my god, I'm such a poor individual for losing people. No. It was, I literally said, good riddance. Because I didn't want those people in my community. It was literally a call out. I was literally point and laugh. Like, Jesus, man. Yeah, it was literally weeding them out. It was filtering. Yeah, it was.
But yeah, I mean, but then there's also going to be people that like that you're being honest about it. So it's kind of, it's whatever. And then you say you hate feminism because not needed in the West when women are actively losing their rights in real time. Well, what do you...
Red fem isn't needed in the West.
By that? I'd love to ask these people what they mean about actively losing their rights.
Who's losing their rights?
In real time. Because I'm pretty sure I know what they're talking about. I think there's a lot of women that are against that. And it's not about women losing their rights at all. In fact, like you can make a little mental exercise about this. It's complicated. Maybe I'll go into another time. Anyway.
It's complicated and it's nuanced, but they're not losing their rights. Abortion rights, but they're not losing it. Because it was handed to the states to decide on their own if they're going to be able to abort or not. Like mental gymnastics, nuance and shit. But that's not the topic, right? That's like one drop in the entire lake.
Wait, Kitsu types says what and with the Joe Biden meme.
I think it's so funny. I still think the Joe Biden meme has so many layers to that response. I'm sorry, but I think my response was perfect. Like literally because America, because it's Joe Biden, because I'm sorry. I just
and says, oh, sorry, let me rephrase. You're a loser and desperate for male validation because your views are tanking. Hope this helps. God damn.
Long-time YouTube watcher, decided to get it from the source.
Yeah, what's up, Jesus? Thank you so much, man.
Follow his example, boys. Twitch.tv/leaflet. Yeah. And for if this does go into YouTube, which at this point I do think so too, join me on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Kitsunero. Whoa, grifter! I'm a grifter! Yay! I'm a pick-me grifter! What's up?
Why is it always personal attacks? Because they can't attack your argument, that's why. It's the easiest way to, like, basically you try to discredit the other person. You try to discredit them, make them look like they don't know what they're talking about. That way you don't have to address the actual argument that they have. Character assassination is a common tactic, yeah. I mean, it's like, it's very common to just be like, oh, like, you're grifting. Because, like, what do you say against that? What do you say? You're like, oh, I believe this. Oh, you're grifting. I'm not. Well, yeah, you are. No, I'm not. I'm not grifting. You are grifting. But I'm not. What makes you think I'm grifting? Yeah, you're grifting. That's how you literally cannot argue against.
Legit, that's literally how it goes.
That's why I started. That's why my new tactic is when they do that to me, I just do the same thing back. And dude, they get so mad. I think the sexual revolution was the watershed moment, or most of modern society's ills. Well, like prior to that, right? Prior to the sexual revolution, a lot of sex involved responsibility, or the possibility of responsibility, right? Delacy Rune, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs, thank you. And when you kind of like take away responsibility and when you make it an accident, right? Like, oh, it's an accident that this happened, but I can clean it up. It's another symptom of running away from accountability and responsibility. Yeah, because prior, in order to like actually engage in that, you had to have the responsibility of like a family. And I mean, that's not all the time, but that's kind of what society led people towards. And even then, like after that, you have things like abortion, which is like, well, you know, like if it fucks up, like whatever, we'll just kill it, right?
Alright. Let's see what I get to of that. I can show you things that happen afterwards. I think she did show this one. This person right here, they had blocked me at this point. That's more or less like the follow-up on that. That I did say. They actually did call me Nazi. I quote retweeted that. You know I'm actually German, right? Do you know what they said to that? You wanna know what they said to that? Oh, here. No, I didn't know that. But thanks for proving my point. You have the same blood as them, and it's all coming together. Now get blocked, Nazi scum. Little racism. Lamal. That's kind of racist? No, it's literally racist. It literally is racist. So dumb. What else? I did show you guys this one. This is literally someone else saying it's peak irony. It is. He's short. This is yesterday streaming. This was someone saying, VTuber saying this or something, or like, why is the VTuber saying this? And they went private afterwards because we called them out on their BS. This is someone saying, you have an open relationship, because I did quote retweet this one down here, which is like TLDR, war of women, war of men versus women is stupid, to which I said, true and facts. It's funny because I openly talk about my fiance on stream and my chat sims for him only and not for me, Lamau. From the moment I started VTubing, I made it very clear that I have a partner. It's crazy that people will always assume there is a monetary ulterior motive by doing statements like that or something. Before, I don't know what happened to your brain thought with the being. So you have an open relationship. Otherwise, no husband in their right mind would be alright with their wife forming parasocial, quasi-romantic relationship with strangers online like VTubers. Congrats on your polygamy. Whatever that word is. Yeah, mental gymnastics. Like, literally mental gymnastics. I see, this person, by the way, is literally saying OnlyFans is one step removed from VTubing, which is like insanity. Insanity. Rosie also went out to spread some positivity, normalize complimenting men more, and not as in complimenting men more than women, but like generally complimenting men more. Like, Jesus Christ. We love Rosie here. Had to make another statement because there were genuinely people using my words, my tweets as fodder, as cannon fodder to attack others, to be hateful, to harass people, to say, I don't even know if they like insulted someone for being a lesbian or if they just called them a lesbian to insult them. I don't even know which one it is, but they were literally being homophobic in my name, and I do not condone this. Not at all. If you're an incel, leave. There's the door. If we find you being an incel, if we find you being hateful and harassing and attacking other people in our community, we are going to ban you. It's literally in my rules. It's literally in my rules. And this is... This is one I got yesterday. Stop playing with men's hearts by saying all men need to be complimented. You were S8 by a man. So, by all means, hold a grudge or disgust for men, which is understandable. But don't act like you actually care for men when one traumatized you. I mean, you are a lesbian, so why give false admiration just for likes? Like, this is literally like... What? What do you... What? Does he think I'm a lesbian because I like Lily's tits? Like, because I have, like, a clip of me saying I can't stop looking at Asha Lily's booba? Is that it? I'm sorry to disappoint. I am 100% straight. Like, I am not attracted to women. Like, I can appreciate a nice pair of boba. I can. And I goddamn love thighs. But that doesn't mean I want to F women. That doesn't mean I want to freaking F women. Like, bro, I like holding my own booba. They're soft and squishy, of course. Doesn't mean I want to hold other women's booba. But I can appreciate them. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's insanity, man. Freaking insanity. Also, can we normalize slapping men's asses more? I unironically slap Hexagon's ass. No shame. Don't know how he feels about that. Well, goddamn! I mean, I do get it. I do get why men like slapping ass. I like slapping ass. Like, Jesus, man. This is so funny because this popped up on my timeline. I don't want to make like an extra video about this, but here, literally, I don't get why it's socially acceptable to hate cats but not dogs. Misogyny. Dogs are associated with men and cats are associated with women. There's no good reason to hate cats or dogs, though, by the way. Mental illness is all I have to say to this. This is like literally mentally ill. And I'm mentally ill. But this is a new level of mentally illness. Like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck are you talking about? All cats are women, yep. All cats are women. Either way, I retweeted men deserve to be loved and treated right. Of course, I stand by what I said. Then, when I woke up today, I looked through a handful of, more messages. I found 2 more really shitty ones. You hate feminism but don't mind your fans being racist, misogynists. You only care about insults receiving a misandrist post, not the abuse women suffer. Pick me. But hey, you think misandry is worse than misogyny, and men are oppressed even though only misogyny causes real harm. If you want, I'll pay for your ticket to a country without feminism. I'm sure you'll have a great time. Have some self-respect, dumb bitch. Like, this, by the way, this was at 4:30 today. I got this. When do I stream nowadays? I stream starting at 4. So this was 2.5 hours or 1.5 hours before that. 1.5 hours before that. And I made this post. Where is it? Where is it? 16 hours ago. I made this post 16 hours ago. Like, are you dumb? Do you genuinely lack the ability to read? Like, my god. Yeah. Again, the positivity is outweighing the negativity in my DMs, I have received so many DMs from both men and women, obviously more men than women, but both men and women do agree with me, and they are thankful, and they are being supportive. All the good shit. It feels like for every bad message I get, there's like 30, 40, 50 positive ones. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Like, genuinely thank you for not twisting my words into something that it isn't. Thank you for being kind, and thank you for being supportive. And also, I don't care if someone says this, by the way. Like, I'm completely unaffected. Like, the way if someone says this about me, I'm unaffected. I'm unaffected. I am so detached from this. I played League of Legends for 10 fucking years, okay? Again, abusive stepfather, mentally and physically abusive. I don't care. I don't care what you say to me. Where I draw the line is when people take my name and attack others in my name. When there's people in my community that say things that aren't right. That's where I draw the line. Like, don't twist it into something that it isn't. Yeah, and I think that's all I got to say on this now. But yeah, I think that's it.